I'm 21 years old, and I'm a local hooper here in Greenpoint.
All right, that's good to hear. Good to hear. So, what was the tragedy that you went through?
Yeah, so I play basketball a lot in my free time. Probably one of my favorite things I do. It's a good stress reliever. Get some time with my friends and something I enjoy doing. But unfortunately, in the past 7 years, span of 7 years, I've torn both of my ACLs. Kind of put my basketball career at a halt, and I never really was the same after that.
I've also heard that you torn one or two of your MCLs.
Yeah, so in the first tear, I tore my MCL as well as my meniscus. I had to get that surgically repaired, which,
Did you tear both of them at the same time?
yeah, it'll happen at the same time, and that required an extra, I'd say maybe a month of rehab to get past. And then in the second tear, it was part of my MCL, but my meniscus was luckily okay.
And you said that it happened within 7 years, both of them.
Yeah, my first one happened in high school. I was a sophomore in high school, and the second one happened when I was actually a sophomore in college.
So, how did the recovery go? How long did it take you to recover from
Uh,
either one, the MCL or the ACL?
Recovery was terrible, truthfully. I mean, for the first tear, I did rehab for about 3 months. And then after that, it was all about just strengthening my legs. Couldn't play basketball for a total of 9 months after that. And for the second one, it was pretty similar. 3, 4 months of rehab, strengthening, no basketball. And I mean, now I play light basketball. It's all right. But again, I never really was the same after that. No matter how much rehab you do for an ACL injury, you're never really back at 100%. So it's just really tough to come back from. And I'd say the biggest part about the whole process was coming back from it mentally. You can come back physically, but it's really difficult to step on the court, to start pivoting again, to kind of be who you were before. So I take a lesser role now when I play basketball.
All right. So, I just wanted to ask you a question on how it happened
Yeah.
on both the occasions.
Yeah. So first occasion was definitely the more horrifying one. I mean, that was the one where I tore not just my ACL, but my MCL and my meniscus. So that takes a lot of force to do. So I mean, the first one, I was up in the air going for a layup. I collided with somebody midair, and just the way I landed put way too much pressure on my knee, to the point where I tore basically most of the ligaments in my knee. So I mean, being someone that never really got injured at the time, really prided myself on that. I didn't think much of it at first. I thought I could walk it off. I thought things would be okay. So I took maybe 15, 20 minutes to kind of walk it off, maybe relax a little bit, felt a little bit better. And then I took a step, and all I felt was my knee just completely shift. And that's when I knew something really serious did happen. So called the ambulance, and all my friends kind of waited with me, and I was just in complete shock.
I would also just like to ask you about your journey from the court to the hospital and from the hospital to home.
Yeah, journey from the court to the hospital was a whole different just sense of fear by itself. I mean, when I was at the court, there were maybe around 15 people lined up around me, just asking me what happened. Then the ambulance came, brought the stretcher out, wheeled me in there, and just found myself laying back there, just again really in my own thoughts, thinking what's going to happen, what's next. And worse than that, since I was in a complete state of shock in the ambulance, I started shaking a lot, and they didn't really know what to do with that. So I mean, they tried everything, but no matter what, I just couldn't stop, kind of vigorously just shaking. Last the whole time till I got to the hospital, and hospital's not really a pleasant place to be. I mean, you just enter there, it's very gray, it's really good to go through. Every time it rains, every time there's some severe weather, I do feel a lot of stiffness in my joints. Those are days where I have to stretch a lot, kind of have to get out a lot. I can't just sit still in a single place and do nothing. And depends on how severe the pressure is, but sometimes it does get pretty bad to the point.
So, with all this knee pain, do you have any in your elbows?
I do not have any pain in my elbows.
What's your favorite team?
Favorite team is the New York Knicks. Uh, Tragedy, when you think of just looking tragedy in the eye and keeping going, I think Derrick Rose is really the person that comes to mind first. Derrick Rose, youngest MVP in the league. I mean, I really saw him do really big.
All right. So, I wanted to ask you about, after all these experiences that you've been through, where are you right now in life from this?
Well, I'm still playing basketball. It's a bit counterintuitive after having both of your ACLs, but it's something I can't really get away from.
I would love to get to know what you learned or gained from this experience and if it gained you any new knowledge.
Yeah, so on a very basic surface level, I mean, it did teach me the importance of stretching before you do any sport. Something I took for granted. I didn't really do anything before playing sports. I just went out, put my body through a lot of pressure, and just kind of assumed everything would be okay. But on a more deeper level, it did teach me to kind of go out and experience life, and just go out, try new experiences, just go see the world. Because being stuck inside for that long, you realize that walking and just going out, having the freedom to do anything, something you really take for granted. And now I do realize that since I do have, the ability to go out to try new things, I should make the most of it. Because at the end of the day, it won't always last. You never know what traumatic experience you might go through that prevents you from going through something. So yeah, then they really just now value the idea of going out trying new things.